What if I told you that you didn't need 100,000 followers on social media in order to make 10K a month plus, or that you needed a big audience to achieve freedom? So that's what it's about, right? To have the freedom, to have location freedom, to work from where you want, to not have a boss, to not have a ceiling on your income, and to ultimately just live a good life where you get paid to create, get paid to be yourself. Well, I managed to do this. I managed to build my coaching business to 14.7K in a single month, which was a really big milestone for me. And I did that with just a 680 person email list. And in this video, I'm going to explain how I did it and how you can do it too. I'm also going to tell you specifically the three steps that you need to take if you want to do this yourself. It's very straightforward. I'm going to walk you through it. And at the end, you're going to have something that you can go and implement. So, start things off. Let's go back to 2024. I was down to my last few $100. I was living in Bali and I'd just been creating non-stop, flat out for a few months. I wasn't really seeing much progress. And eventually I made an offer to my list, my email list, because I've been building an email list. I only had about 680 people on there at the time. And I launched this email to my list, and what happened next was pretty mad. I ended up getting a message from somebody who was in my audience, who was on my email list, who said, I'm really interested in working with you. I got on a call with him, started working together. Just after that, I got another message from another guy who was on my list. This guy was a copywriter, and he said, I've been reading your emails, and they really hit for me. Do you offer coaching or mentorship? Signed him. It's another client. So I had this momentum, and then to top it all off, in that single month, this was April 2024, somebody was observing how I was working at a co-working space, and he said, I want to do what you do. And I said, well, I write emails and create content. And he said, I want to do that. So he was a business owner that wanted more freedom. We lived together for a month. He spent $9,000 on that one-off offer that I made him. And Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. 14.7K generated in the month of April 2024. Pretty cool. Blew my mind. And none of it would have been possible without that email list, because the people that all bought from me were reading my emails. So there's a concept called 1,000 True Fans. Kevin Kelly made it up. I didn't make it up. But it's kind of how I've built my whole business, which is, the whole concept is this: 1,000 true fans that all pay you a true fan, someone that really believes in you. You only need 1,000 of those people to pay you $100 for you to make 100K. Now, I've far exceeded that in my business career, in this line of work, shall we say, coaching and writing. But what's really cool is $100,000, that's a six-figure salary. You only need 1,000 people that are going to pay you 100. Now, the reality is that usually what happens, and this is how I do things, and I'm about to segue into this in just a moment, is, well, what if 1,000 people really believed, but you don't ask for $100 from all of them? Instead, you ask for $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 from a portion of them. There's always a percentage of people willing to pay more. Why don't you go after those people, and then you don't have to make so many sales? So if you've been in this space before, if you're in the coaching space, or you're in the make money online space, or you've done some coaching, or maybe you're writing, you're a ghostwriter right now, or a salesperson, you probably understand that what I'm talking about here is a high ticket offer. Rather than going low ticket, you go high ticket. Still, the concept exists. You only need 1,000 people, but I like to go after the 10 people in the 1,000 or the 100 people in the 1,000 that want to spend more. So you don't need a massive audience to make big money and have freedom. You simply just need a dedicated list of people that really, really like you, really, really trust you, and that you're true fans, true believers. These people are on your email list if you build one. And if you have one already, they're already there. Even better if you have a list of people inside that list of people who have already paid you, but that's a topic for another time. So we've spoken about the fact that you don't need a huge audience to achieve quite literally like financial freedom, or at least abundance, right? I've traveled the world on this list. My list is where I make most of my money. 80% of my clients come from my email list or read my emails. Just goes to show you everything. So we know that now. We also know about this concept of 1,000 true fans. You only need 1,000 true fans to make $100,000 a year. If you go after a portion of those people, let's say 10 of those people want to pay you $5,000, well, you only need to make 10 sales, which is a lot less work than making 100 sales. Or 1,000 sales, right? So the 1,000 true fans concept stands up, except for I'm suggesting that we go after people that want to pay us more money. That's how I did it. That's how I was able to make my 14.7K month, let's just say 15K for the sake of it, by charging people lots of money to learn how to do what I do. Pretty straightforward. Still with me? Okay, cool. So now let's talk about the 3 things you need, like the 3 steps to replicating what I did. This is basically what I did. I'm just giving you the path that I laid out for myself without even realizing. And this is how I did it. So I spoke about people paying you more money. So step 1 is we need a high ticket offer. Now, low ticket's great. I believe that low ticket has a place, but it's really hard to constantly be driving high volume of sales. Like, I don't really personally have the audience for that, and I don't want to do a ton of paid ads. I don't really want to do any at this point, to be honest with you. But if you have a high ticket offer, that means you don't need as high a volume of sales, which means you need less people to say yes in order to buy. And what do I mean? Well, a high ticket offer is, in my opinion, anything over $1,000, $2,000 maybe. That's high ticket to me. So when you're getting people to pay you $1,000, $2,000 a month, or maybe $6,000 up front, or like that one client, $9,000, you don't need, I only need to sell one person for $9,000 to make $9,000 in a single month from one client. And then I had the other clients who were paying me $2,000 a month each. Bish bash bosh, 14.5K. That's how you hit the big numbers. Most people think, oh, I'll sell something cheap because it's easier to sell. And that might be true, but it's the challenge isn't getting people to say yes. The challenge is the amount of people that say yes. It's actually more straightforward to get less people to say yes to a bigger, more expensive thing, because there's a price point for everyone. So if we have 1,000 true fans, you have a social media audience, we want to go after the 10 people that are going to pay you 5, maybe 10K total. Then boom, we're at our 50 to 100K mark. You can replace your job, you can pretty much live where you want, and you have a fully remote income. That's freedom right there, high ticket offer. So that's step 1, is you need to put your expertise into a high ticket offer, which you can sell to your audience. Don't know what I did there. To your audience you already have, or people that already know you. And this is how we do it. And the idea is you want to take this offer and you want to validate it with 3 paying clients. And if you have 3 paying clients, you can now start advertising it. But we don't do paid ads. So this is how I do things, right? So this is where the email list really comes in. Step 2 is what I call content that sells. Or in the past, I threw a workshop called Magnetic Client Attraction. In fact, I like that more, Magnetic Client Attraction. So step 2 is Magnetic Client Attraction. This is all about putting content out, like chances are right now, let me guess, you have an audience or a small social media following and you want to monetize it because you want the freedom, you want to live where you want to send emails and get paid to just create content, right? And get paid to send emails, probably. That was what I wanted to do. I just wanted to get paid to write and not have a boss. So content's a really huge part of that. Now, you're probably already producing content, and if you're not, let me tell you how I do things. So you have your social media platform, you have your personal brand, which you should be building, or at least you should be posting content. But the pure purpose of the content for me is I either want to build authority or I want to generate leads. So for me, it's all about, the content has a purpose. It's about creating clients. It's about magnetically attracting clients. So what we do and what I do, my system, is I will put content out that attracts my ideal client, my dream client, the client that I really, really want to work with. And I will put out little hooks and pieces of content and stories into the marketplace which attract them. The one person I want to work with, the one person I want to, quite literally, think about this. Who's the person that you would love to share a house with for a month if you were like locked in a villa with someone for a month? Like, who would you want that person to be? And what would you need to tell them in order to want to live with you or want to learn from you? So that's what we have to do first, is we have to figure out who our target is. Well, lucky for you, I have a link down below. There is a process, like a cheat sheet, a little resource you can go and use to find and figure out who you're talking to, who your dream client is, and so you can actually magnetically attract them rather than just playing a guessing game, hoping that someone DMs you, blah, blah, blah. That's gonna be really useful to you. It's down below. But yeah, what we need to do is we need to then create some kind of opt-in page, where we need to create something that's gonna bring the clients in to our email list. So that's where we will create lead magnets, mini lead magnets, things that actually, and if you don't know what these are, that's fine, but you probably do, things that actually get people to sign up to your email list. Now this is why the whole video is about email lists, or rather the power of email. To some extent it's the premise of the video anyway. If you can get people onto your email list, now that is a place where you can sell them. So you don't need to be on social media all day, spamming your offer, getting people to sell, hitting the DMs hard. You can bring people that truly believe in you, the 1,000 true fans, they come onto your email list. That is where you can sell them. That is where you can hit them with offers every single day. And that is how I've been able to generate the income I have and the lifestyle I have, by sending one email a day to that list and inviting them to work with me. Now, I love writing, I love creating, but I love writing. So for me, if I can write about something that interests me, or something that made me laugh, or something that happened with a client recently that is relevant to them, or something that solves their problem, and I'm like really trying to help them through something, I enjoy writing that. So if I write that and that generates me clients, boom. I've gone from social media stranger to fan by coming onto the email list, to customer or client by being sold to in my email list. That is magnetic client attraction, and that is how sending one email a day works. And you're selling, guess what? Your high ticket offer in those emails. Bob's your uncle, Fanny's your aunt. Now this is how you generate the leads to the offer without people feeling sold to, and that's why I love email, because people will come to you. Now, step 3 of this process, and I'm not gonna go in too much depth here, but it's about structuring your business on the back end to accommodate more clients as you scale. So you're gonna get the clients in, and every client you get is more work. So if you bring them in, how do we structure the business and structure the system so that you can keep scaling, which means adding more clients without adding all this extra work? And that is with something that I call the proximity tower. The proximity tower is what gives you freedom. Let's say, for example, on the bottom tier, you have your content. It's the bottom of or rather this. I've got my water bottle here, trusty water bottle. This is a tower. You are at the top of the tower. There's levels of the tower. They want to come to the top, they have to come through the layers, and who they are is your audience, right? So once we're moving, and once we have people buying through our email list, buying a high ticket offer, we need to install some layers of some boundaries to access you at the top. This is how we structure the business. So they come into the bottom and this is the content. Then they join your email list. Again, that's most likely free. Next is maybe you invite them to a paid workshop. Maybe you invite them to a webinar. Maybe you invite them to a 3-day challenge. And they go from free to paid. This isn't something expensive, but this is a layer. Now, you're not going to give them the farm. You're not going to give them everything. You're not going to give them your whole program. You're not going to give them you unlimited access. It's just an hour with you. And once they come in here, they are now starting to experience you more. It's pretty cool. After that workshop, you can say, hey, do you want to come and like join this other thing I have, which could be, for example, a group program like I have. I have Productize Yourself, which is my middle tier. You come in here and you join us in here. Cool. Then there's another layer. We have an inner circle, which is like a mastermind, a bit more expensive. And at the top is working with you privately. Now, if you imagine each layer of the tower or each level takes X amount of hours to fulfill per week. Takes you X amount of time to do content, takes you X amount of time to write a newsletter, takes you X amount of time to fulfill on webinars and stuff, takes you X amount of time to fulfill for the group, takes you X amount of time to fulfill for the inner circle, takes you X amount of time to fulfill for your one-to-one clients. Where are we at now? Well, where we're at is we have a system that we can keep adding more clients, but it takes that set amount of time every single day and week to fulfill those layers, those levels. You can keep pouring clients into those levels. They can keep filling up those levels without you having to work more, because the layers, you're thinking in terms of layers and tiers rather than all one mess. So that's step 3 of the system. It's called the proximity tower because it's all about gaining proximity to you. You are what they want. They're going to be constantly pursuing you and working closely with you. This is how we structure the business. I structured my business like this. I've been structuring it like this for the last 2-3 years. And this is how I was able to make those 14.5K months more consistent, because let me tell you the truth, after that 14K month, I had a bit of a drop off. Why? Because I didn't have my business on the back end set up right. I had the offer, the high ticket offer. I had the leads coming through my email list. I didn't have the business set up right. When the business gets set up right, we can scale more predictably and reliably, and it's less burnout, basically. And you end up with the business you truly, truly want. Those are the 3 steps. High ticket offer, what I call a productized high ticket offer. A magnetic client attraction, where we're bringing people from social media into our email list, where we can sell to them daily without people feeling sold, and they actually come to you rather than you going to them. We're generating inbound demand. They're much easier to close. It's very straightforward. Easiest way and best way to generate leads, because if we now generate those leads, we can have freedom because we can get clients. Step 3 is the proximity tower, which we build to ensure that you don't burn out, that you can keep scaling, and that you can make your months more predictable, reliable, etc. And you can structure your business in a way where you know how much time you should be working every single week. You don't let it run away from you. You know each tier takes X amount of time to fulfill them, and you can scale without getting overwhelmed. So, where are we then? Well, just to recap, you don't need a huge audience to make 10K plus per month. You don't need a huge audience to have freedom. You just need 1,000 true fans who truly believe in you, who are most likely on your email list, and you need to send them 1 email a day. That's all good and well. Sounds cool. The actual how we do it is the 3 steps. You need a high ticket offer, productized high ticket offer. You need magnetic client attraction, where we bring people onto our email list and sell them there. And we need to build our business the right way with the proximity tower so that we can add more clients without adding more work. This is how we do it. So, if there's anything you want to take away from today, it's an email list will set you free. If you have the other things in place, if you have the offer in place, if you know how to write emails that convert, and you know how to bring people from social media onto that list, your email list can be your greatest asset. And then once you get moving, you don't make the same mistake I did. You actually build your business the right way with strategic offer tiers. We'll make another video on that in the future. You're going to be able to add more clients without burning out, which is pretty cool. This is how we built this for Connor. Connor went from zero, like I'm talking like zero, anything. Didn't have an offer, didn't have any revenue. We went from 0 to 47K a month within 7 months, or rather, I believe it was January to August. Yes, 7 months. Now there was a point where we built it and then he sort of like took over and made it run even bigger. But we got him off the ground, we got him moving. And that is just an example. And we had those strategic offer tiers. I think he now sells his one-to-one for like £11,000, which is $15,000. He has his flagship offer, his group, which he sells for £5,000, so like $7,000. Like this is how it works, right? But he needed, and he's sending daily emails. And we're always talking about emails and how we can make them better and how they're the core of everything. He actually said to me one time, he texted me the other week and he said, it still blows my mind how writing is just the base of everything. And that's true. And writing has set me free. But what I'm doing today is I'm lifting the lid on how to actually achieve like digital freedom with writing. A lot of people tell you, if you write tweets, you'll have freedom. If you write if you get into copywriting, you're gonna have freedom. Whatever, it's like, if you are someone with expertise that wants to coach people, that likes to write, then you need to know how you can turn the email list into revenue. And I just told you today how you can make a 10,000 per month revenue, more than 10,000 per month recurring revenue business without burning out, without slaving away, and without giving up the freedom that you wanted. Because I write one email a day, it takes me 10-15 minutes, and boom, the system runs itself. So today I did talk to you about us needing a dream client. Like, who do we really want to work with? The high ticket offer thing doesn't really work if we don't have a target. So there's a link down below to get a resource, the ICP extraction prompt. And yeah, that is where you're going to go from guessing to knowing exactly who you're targeting, so that you can give them the right hooks, you can give them the right stories, you can give them the right lead magnets. You can basically get their attention and bring them into your email list and bring them into your offers and everything we spoke about today magnetically. So it ties into magnetic client attraction, but you need to know who you're targeting first. That prompt is going to give you everything you need to do the research you need to bring them towards you. But that is today's video in a nutshell. It is 7:30 p.m. here in the United Kingdom. I'm about to go and get either some coffee cake or maybe a protein yogurt. But I appreciate you spending the time today, watching this video, taking the time to learn, and this is it. That's how I scaled my coaching business from 0 to $14,700 with just a 680 person email list. Now you can go and do the same, but I encourage you to download that resource down below, and I will see you in the next one.